Good afternoon, dear beloved friends. Are you able to hear me okay? Wonderful. Would it be possible if you could unmute yourself and just share a few words of hello in your favorite language?
Aloha.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hola. Hola.
Hola, hola, xin chào, hello, bonsoir. No, yes, yes, that is right. It's night in France. Huh? Bonjour. So nice to see some of the faces I just saw last week at Magnolia Grove Monastery. You know who you are. I can see that some of you are perhaps still in your office working, and I know that some of you are driving or in the car, or perhaps in your favorite place. I am also at home this week visiting my family. So that's why you could see that my background is different than usual. It's quite difficult to find a quiet place at home. So like some of you, I am also sitting in the bedroom. My nieces are downstairs. I hope they're behaving while I'm up here with you. I'm sure they have all the freedom that they want right now because they have all the downstairs all by themselves. How is everybody doing? Yes. How is the weather where you live? How is the weather in Florida? Not too hot?
It's very hot.
It's very hot in Florida?
In the mid 80s where I live, which is Central Florida.
I see. Who here from Florida? Can you raise your hand if you don't mind? Okay. Yes. Anyone from Tennessee? Mississippi? Oh, we have few from Mississippi. Very nice. Thank you. I know we have
Very hot
people
here too.
from. Excuse me?
I was just complaining about the heat in Mississippi too.
It's nothing yet. Wait until July, right? Today I will be with all of you. Sister Nghiêm is unable to join us, and perhaps we can start with some songs. Is that okay? Yes. Oh, we have a friend from Boston. Spring there is gorgeous. I completely agree. I was in Boston, was it 2 weeks ago, for the Harvard event of the inauguration of Thich Nhat Hanh Center for Mindfulness in Public Health. Yeah, the magnolias were blooming. I could feel the spring breeze as we were walking, enjoying the nature there. So I'd like to share screen with you as we can sing some songs together. Okay, are you able to see this okay, dear friend? We have a friend from Costa Rica and Atlanta joining us. Wonderful. Is there a song that you would like to sing? You may just type in the number or let us know the number and we'll sing for you. And we So far, we have a request to sing number 13. Any other request? Okay, 2 special requests for number 2 and number 10. I am going to highlight number 13. Are you able to see it now? Number 13? Okay, that's great. So we'll start with 13, 10, and 2, and number 14. Wow, we have like 4 people request for number 2. That's wonderful. We all love to breathe, don't we? I hope you have your water with you. Yeah? Can enjoy your water. We sing to remind us the wonders of practice of the present moment. We sing not just for entertainment, but we sing to help us to come back to the here and to the now. If you could mute yourself to avoid the echo as we sing, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. The realm of the mind is mine. I can choose where I want to go. Both heaven and hell I know equally well. The choice is up to me. I'm gonna sing a bit lower. The realm of the mind is mine. I can choose where I want to be. Both heaven and hell I know equally well. The choice is up to me. The realm of the mind is mine. I can choose where I want to be. Both heaven and hell I know equally well. The choice is up to me. The realm of the mind is mine. I can choose where I want to be. Both heaven and hell I know equally well. The choice is up to me. It's a great song to remind us when our mind is in a state where we know it's not very peaceful. We recognize it as it is, and at the same time, when we sing this song, we can choose where we want to be. And we can sing the song number 2. Whenever we come to the monastery, we invite one another as well as remind each other to consider our breathing as our best friend, a very faithful friend that doesn't abandon us. It's a friend that we can come back and take refuge anytime, anywhere. And sometimes I remind myself that, yes, it's true that I know few things, but at this moment, do I know if I'm breathing in or I'm breathing out? Maybe that is the most important thing to know in that moment, is our in-breath and our out-breath. so that our mind and our body can be relaxed, can be free. Please do the movement with us. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as a dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as a dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. And number 14, A Great Big Smile. Anyone here knows this song that can lead for us? Any volunteer? Could you raise your hand? This is when we see that people are often very shy when it comes to singing. No volunteer. Oh, Sister Nghiêm is here. Maybe Sister Nghiêm can help. Oh, I'm so happy she's able to join us. Sister Nghiêm, are you able to see us? Could you unmute yourself?
Hello, everyone.
Oh, nice. Flowers for Sister Nghiêm for being here today. Sister Nghiêm, there's a request to sing the song number 14, Great Big Smile. Can you lead us that song?
I don't see all the lyrics because I'm just
Okay. What about now? Can you see?
I don't know how to move you to another corner.
Okay, it's okay. You might hurt me if you move me to another corner. Okay, I will just help with the singing. Okay. I am a bird,
I am a bird,
a beautiful bird.
a beautiful bird.
I am the sun,
I am the sun,
a golden sun.
the golden sun.
I am the wind,
I am the wind,
carrying
carrying
the
the
beautiful
beautiful
bird
bird
in the sun. We are one
one
in
in
a
the
wonderful
wonderful world.
world. I am a seed.
I am a seed.
Please do the movements with us. Let's do it again. I am a seed,
I am a seed,
a tiny seed.
a tiny seed.
I am the rain,
I am the rain,
gentle rain.
gentle rain.
How do you do the stream? I am the stream,
I am the stream,
carrying
carrying
the tiny seed in the rain as we change in a wonderful world. I am a note,
I am a note,
a peaceful note.
a peaceful note.
I am a song,
I am the song,
beautiful song.
beautiful song.
I am a child,
I am a child,
great big smile.
great big smile.
I am a note in a song, sing along in a wonderful world. Ah, it's such a beautiful song. Thank you so much. Just a joyful note. So I'm currently at home with my dad and my family, and today my niece's school has had a talent show for third grader. So I went to see. Can you imagine what it was like in the dining hall with like I think there were 100 children in the dining hall, and parents came to see their parents and grandparents came to see their the third graders sang. They even had one boy came up and performed a magic show. There were a lot of singing, playing piano, jokes, and a Rubik cube. This boy, he was able to do a Rubik cube in 47 seconds. It was amazing to see how he moves his hand. And what was most beautiful image for me was there were three girls. The white girl played the piano, an Asian girl and a black girl played the violin. That spirit, that diversity, that inclusivity, that sisterhood, that friendship in these three girls were very beautiful, and they were in tune with one another, and they received the same love and the same attention. And my niece went up to play the piano for less than 1 minute. And so her parents drove 30 to 40 minutes from the workplace to the school to watch their daughter perform 1 minute, and then they drove back to work. The house that I'm staying is only less than 2 minutes drive, so it was easy for me. But it was really nice to see the support, the love that the adults as well as the teachers gave to these children. And sitting there, I look at the other third graders cheer for those who were on stage, And it was amazing that, you know, when it was time for performance, everybody was very quiet. No sound of the bell was invited. And, you know, when we have be-in at the monastery, we have to invite the bell for people to be quiet. But these third graders, when they saw their peers were on stage, they were very quiet, gave their friend the full attention. And the teacher who was helping to sit just below the stage to care for the music, she was like moving her body back and forth, nodding and smiling for each child that went up and performed. That was very nice. On a more serious note, as I walked into the elementary school, I remember all the shootings that took place in the US this past few years. And you know, that saddened my heart. It's another reality that who knows which child will face in the future. And that just broke my heart for a moment, because this is another reality that our country is facing, right? There have been 199 mass shootings in the US, and it's only May. The number of mass shootings are more than the number of days in the year of 2023. And as I sat there and I look at all these third graders going up to perform, I send them my love. I was really in the present moment. Cheer for them, clap for them. As you know, at the monastery, we don't clap, but when I was in that dining hall, I clapped really hard. So I hope that for those of you who have young children that have talent shows at their school, please give them your time and be there for them, even if you have to drive 40 minutes one way, but it's really worth a trip. As I was sitting there, I did not know the parents of this child, these children. But you know, by looking down at the audience and the smile and the proud face that the adults have, I could tell if this is their child performing or not. Isn't that amazing? It's the parents' love, it's the grandparents' love that you can see it on the face. Yeah. I'm sure if you have young children at home, you know what I'm talking about. To us, it might be very simple, you know, but to them, it's something that they will remember for the rest of their lives, knowing that their loved ones are there to support them for a talent show that perhaps the performance was only less than 1 minute. Yeah, so now I'd like to invite us to sit upright, and I'm wondering if Sister Nghiêm, if you are okay to help us with a guided meditation.
And I have to get the bell because
It's okay. I have the bell. I have the bell, and I can invite 3 sounds of the bell, and in about 15 minutes we can do guided meditation for 15 minutes, and you can say a session of guided meditation is over, and I will invite 3 more sounds of the bell. Yeah. Perhaps you can invite a friend to sit beautifully. May I ask how many of our friends here are new to our session? First time joining us. Welcome, dear friends. Please know that this is your home. We're happy to have you. Okay, Sister Dinge, we are ready whenever you are. Well, Sister Dingam is getting ready. I'd like to invite all of us to be in our most comfortable position, whether that is sitting on a chair, lying down, or standing up. And perhaps some of you have to walk. In whatever position that you are in, please relax your body. Relax your shoulders. Your back is straight but not rigid. You may open your eyes or close your eyes. And don't forget to offer yourself a gentle smile. Let us listen to 3 sounds of the bell. Sister Dingam will offer a guided meditation. She will say 2 sentences followed by 2 keywords. And these keywords are for us to practice right at that moment, not for us to think.
Breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I follow my in-breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath from the beginning to the end. Follow in my in-breath, follow in my out-breath, all the way through. Aware of the suffering brought about by killing, I breathe in. Giving rise to compassion for the victims of violence, I breathe out. Aware that killing brings suffering. Compassion for victims of violence. Determined not to kill, I breathe in. Determined to foster nonviolence through actions of body, speech, and mind, I breathe out. Not killing, fostering nonviolence. Aware of the suffering brought about by exploitation and social injustice, I breathe in. Giving rise to loving kindness for the victims of social injustice, I breathe out. exploitation and social injustice, loving kindness. Feeling compassion for the victims of exploitation, I breathe in. Determined to live simply, consuming only what I need, I breathe out. Compassion for victims, determined to live simply. Aware of suffering brought about by sexual misconduct, I breathe in. Feeling compassion for a victim of sexual misconduct, I breathe out. Suffering caused by sex, feeling compassion. aware of harm to children and adults by irresponsible sexual behavior. I breathe in, determined to practice responsibility to sexual relations. I breathe out, aware of harm, practicing responsibility. Aware of the suffering brought about by unmindful speech, I breathe in, giving rise to loving thoughts and mindful words in my heart. I breathe out, suffering caused by words, loving thoughts and words. Feeling compassion for the one I have hurt by my words, I breathe in, determined to live deeply, to listen deeply, and speak mindfully. I breathe out, feeling compassion, listening deeply, speaking mindfully. Aware of the suffering brought about by unmindful consumption, I breathe in, given rise to the capacity to protect my body and mind. I breathe out. Suffering caused by unmindful consumption. Protecting myself. Feeling compassion for someone harmed by addiction, I breathe in. Determined to consume mindfully for the rest of my life, I breathe out. Compassion, consuming mindfully. Seeing myself practicing the mindfulness trainings with the Sangha, I breathe in, feeling happiness to be practicing the trainings with the Sangha. I breathe out, practicing with the Sangha, feeling happiness. Breathing in, I follow my in breath. Breathing out, I follow my out breath. In breath, out breath.
So, dear respected Thầy, dear Sister Nghiêm, dear beloved friends, the session of guided meditation is now over. You may rub your two hands and massage your face. Send your neck the love, your head the care. Dear respected Thầy, dear beloved family, friends, I hope you have water or tea next to you so you could enjoy it while listening to my sharing. Please keep yourself hydrated as the summer is present. Thank you so much, Sister Nghiêm, for a very profound and meaningful guided meditation. For those of you who have been in the practice for some time, you probably could recognize that Sister Nghiêm did the guided meditation on the practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings. For the next 5 weeks or so, 5 to 10 weeks, Sister Nghiêm and I, we will share on the topic of the 5 mindfulness trainings. There's no need for us to rush to finish these trainings in the 5 weeks. We can take all the time we need. Perhaps there will be some trainings that need 2 or 3 sessions for us to share our practice, to reflect. And maybe there is one training that we only need to have 1 session, but who knows? We just listen to our hearts and listen to the needs of our friends. This is what I like about our weekly online session, that we have all the freedom and the time that we need. May I ask how many of us here have received the 5 mindfulness trainings? Can you raise your hand? Okay, there are quite a number of us. Could you do the raise hand movement? So it's easier for me to see? Yes. So there are like 10 to 15 of you. Wonderful. For those who haven't heard about the 5 mindfulness trainings, or have heard of them but have not received them, I also hope that you can also benefit from our collective insights and sharing. Today I will share with you just the introduction. And if you like the introduction, then maybe it can inspire you to join us next time. Imagine this is a series, right? I hope to end the session in such a way where next time you don't want to miss, just like how they do like the series on television. But I hope mine won't be feel so much drama, with so much drama like the dramas that you see on Netflix. A cliffhanger, there you go. Yes, maybe I will have a cliffhanger after my sharing. At the monastery at Magnolia, as well as all Plum Village centers around the world, on the last day of the retreat, we would transmit the 5 mindfulness trainings. And this is something that friends voluntarily take. And of course, we also invite those who have received the trainings to share their experience in the practice. Can you imagine the joy and the happiness that we witness on July 4th, 5:30 in the morning on July 4th, or December 31st, or May 7th? And these are examples of the days that friends received the 5 mindfulness trainings. Many friends wanted to give themselves a special gift on the last day of the year to start the new year, and that is by taking the 5 mindfulness trainings. And before we go into the introduction, I would like to invite our friends who have received the 5 mindfulness trainings, if you could type in the chat box a major change in your life that you witness after you receive the 5 mindfulness trainings. What is it? A major change that you feel your life is more peaceful and happy. That can be practice more listening, right? Or drinking less alcohol. Sister Nghiêm, could you help me to read what our friends is typing? Are you able to see the chat box, Sister Nghiêm? No? May we have one volunteer to help me to read what the friends are writing? Yes, Gio. Thank you. Gio, if you could unmute yourself.
Oh, I thought I did. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Listening more, speaking less quickly. I smile more and look for joy each day. I have noticed that my relationships with people have become so much closer as I've started expressing gratitude to my friends and family and have been working on being mindful with my speech. Focusing more on loving speech and deep listening has really enriched my life. Calming, taking the world as it is, trying to do well in and for the world. And my dedication to the Dharma became firmer.
Thank you, Gio. And also a friend share a focus on mindfulness. I am sturdier in the face of challenges. There is Dharma in the drama. Could you continue, Gio?
There's more. I'm missing it.
more attentive to concentration and listening to others.
I see. Yeah. And I can more often look deeply and quickly resolve both human conflict and scientific problems in my work.
That's very inspiring.
Oh, another one? No.
Thank you so much, dear friends, for your answer. I'd like to share with you a screen of a writing by our teacher. I will first of all, if you wish to learn more about yes, is this better now? Am I speaking loud enough for you? Thank you. Okay, thank you for that. So for those of you who wish to learn more about the 5 mindfulness trainings, to read our teacher's teachings on this profound practice, you may find a copy of the Mindfulness Survival Kit book, which you can find on parallax.org website. This book was once known as For a Future to Be Possible. But the new title is now the Mindfulness Survival Kit. The introduction to this book is the 5 mindfulness trainings, also referred as precepts: not to kill, steal, commit adultery, lie, or take intoxicants, are the basic statements of ethics and morality in Buddhism. Zen master and peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh argues eloquently for their applicability in our daily lives and on a global scale. Nhat Hanh discusses the value and meaning of each precept, offering insights into the role that it could play in our changing society. Thầy calls the trainings as a diet for a mindful society. With this book, he offers a Buddhist contribution to the current thinking on how we can come together to define secular moral guidelines that will allow us to explore and sustain a sane, compassionate, and healthy way of living. The 5 mindfulness trainings offer a path to restoring meaning and value in our world, whether called virtues, ethics, moral conduct, or precept. They are guidelines for living without bringing harm to others. Another screen I'd like to share with you is this. This is from the book Happiness Essential Mindfulness Practices. This is just a summary of the 5 mindfulness trainings, that we know that they are the most concrete ways to practice mindfulness. They are non-sectarian, and their nature is universal. They are true practices of compassion and understanding, and all spiritual traditions have their equivalent to the 5 mindfulness trainings. Hinduism, Muslim, if you are Muslim, if you are Hindu, if you are Jewish, you are Catholic, Presbyterian, Baptist, you have your equivalent to the 5 mindfulness trainings. And we know that the 5 mindfulness trainings are based on the precepts developed during the time of the Buddha to be the foundation of practice for the entire lay practice community. Okay, and now I just want to read to you this introduction. This is something that we read very often whenever we reflect together and share about the 5 mindfulness trainings. The 5 mindfulness trainings represent the Buddhist vision for a global spirituality and ethic. They are a concrete expression of the Buddha's teachings on the 4 noble truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, the path of right understanding and true love, leading to healing, transformation, and happiness for ourselves and for the world. To practice the 5 mindfulness trainings is to cultivate the insight of interbeing, a right view, which can remove all discrimination, intolerance, anger, fear, and despair. If we live according to the 5 mindfulness trainings, we are already on the path of a bodhisattva. Knowing we are on that path, we are not lost in confusion about our life, in the present, or in fears about the future. And the first training, as some of us already know, is reverence for life. We want to protect life and not to kill. The second mindfulness training is true happiness. Committed to practicing generosity in our thinking, speaking, and acting, and not to steal. The third mindfulness training is true love. Be aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct. And we vow to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. And last but not least, we are committed not to discriminate against any form of gender identity and sexual orientation. And we know that love is love. We respect, we support, and we care. That is true love. The fourth mindfulness training is loving speech and deep listening. We know that unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others can cause a lot of suffering. That's why we are committed to practice loving speech and compassionate listening. And we are determined not to spread news that we do not know to be certain. And the fifth mindfulness training, nourishment and healing. We know that food here is not just edible food, the food we ingest through our mouth, but it's a food that we consume through our ears, our nose, our tongue, body, our deep aspiration, our volition, the environment that we're in. And this training is not just for the physical health, but it is also to take care of our mental health. We are determined not to gamble and not to use alcohol, drugs, or anything that contains toxins. So these are the spirit of the 5 mindfulness trainings that we will explore later on in our session, in the upcoming session. But today I want to share with us about the overall, the introduction of the 5 mindfulness trainings. Just a brief history. For those of you who have read the 5 mindfulness trainings, if I ask you this question, will you be able to answer it? Who were the first people that received the 5 precepts transmitted by the Buddha? Anyone here know the answer to this question? the Buddha first transmitted the 5 precepts to the parents of a monk. To the parents of a monk. That was more than 2,600 years ago. And back then, the precepts were very simply stated. Do not kill, do not steal, do not have sexual misconduct, do not lie, and do not drink alcohol. But we know that anything that starts with do not, people don't find that so friendly, right? Imagine if you tell a child, do not do that. The child might do it. And over the years, we have learned that, in order for people to feel inspired and have confidence in their own ability, we rewrite our guidelines or our requests in a way that has more the positive connotation than a negative connotation. Just like today when I visited the clinic, instead of saying you are not allowed to talk on the phone inside the building, it is written as, please have your conversation outside. Right? Or you pass by a store, instead of say do not drink or eat or no drinking or eating allowed, there's a sign that say, please enjoy your drink before entering. So over the years, our teacher and many other people, long-time practitioners, have looked into these trainings, looked into the precepts, and made changes so that these trainings can be relevant, appropriate, and applicable to today's needs and challenges. I'm sure during the early days of Plum Village, the trainings were written differently and they were much shorter. I hope to find the copy of these trainings in the 80s, in the early 90s, so that all of us here in the year 2023 can look at it and see the current version. This is a reminder for us that these trainings need to be updated. And this is how we can keep the teachings of the Buddha alive. If we are so caught in thinking that, we should not make any changes, that would make the Buddha unhappy. We are very wrong. The Buddha knows that he can only live for 80 years. And at the same time, he knew that his teachings would last for a very long time. He had faith in us, just like our teacher had faith in us. And our teacher once encouraged us, not just one time, but many times, that every 20 years, we need to update these trainings. That is why in the year 2022, for the third mindfulness training, we added few sentences in so that it can be more inclusive, more supportive to our friends in the LGBTQIA+ community. And perhaps in the upcoming years, we will need to look into these trainings together as a community to make additional changes. We know that these 5 mindfulness trainings are global ethic, and they are something that for us to voluntarily take. Nobody is forcing us. They are not like the 10 Commandments. If we break them, the Buddha does not say, I will punish you. Maybe the Buddha inside you feel a bit guilty and regret for the mistakes that you made. But this is a difference between before we take the training and after we take the training. Perhaps before we take the training, we are less aware of our action of body, speech, and mind. But after we receive the training in the ceremony with the witness of the whole community, the Buddha in us is more present. The mindfulness in us is often there. And so when we say something to someone that we know, oh, I should not say that, then that awareness is there. And we make the determination to practice better tomorrow. The 5 mindfulness training contains the Noble Eightfold Path: right thinking, right view, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right diligence, right concentration, right mindfulness. And we can take baby steps. As monastics, as a Buddhist nun, I have 348 precepts to keep. But the foundation is the 5 mindfulness trainings. For example, like the first mindfulness training, reverence for life. When I get into the car, I fasten my seatbelt. That is the practice of reverence for life. It's not just a matter of killing or support act of killing. It's protecting life. Isn't that right action? Isn't that right view? Because I know that when I drive the car and I fasten my seatbelt, if I happen to hurt somebody, my life can be in danger and the other person's life can be in danger. And so that is right view. When I protect myself, I am protecting others. And these 5 mindfulness trainings is a reminder that when we practice them, we have so much freedom in our life. Oftentimes, when we are new to the practice or consider them as like strict guidelines, then we feel that I have less freedom. They are restrictions to my freedom. If they are restrictions to our freedom, then perhaps we are not practicing right. These mindfulness trainings is for the aim to help us to have more peace, happiness, and especially freedom. An example that we often heard is that, let's say, just like the universal law, right? No drinking while driving. If we drink and we drive and we get pulled over by the police, what would happen to us? We will get a ticket. We might end up in jail. We harm other people and we live without guilt for many, many years. Is that freedom? And if we practice no drinking while driving, if the police pull us over, we will not be so fearful or afraid. The chances that we get into a car accident is very little. Or the chance that we end up in prison is very slim. If that is not freedom, what is it? And I don't know why it's 5. I cannot ask the Buddha right now, but perhaps there are 5 fingers in one hand. As you can see, the 5 fingers are not the same, but yet they are together. They are together, and they work together in harmony. And it doesn't mean that for those who don't have 5 fingers, they are not able to work in harmony together. No. The spirit of the 5 mindfulness trainings for me is like the spirit of these 5 fingers. They are connected. The one support the other 4. Is it important that the first mindfulness training is more important than the 5th because it's number 1? I don't think so. It's just there are 5 trainings. We have to start with 1 somewhere and end with 5 as something. But it doesn't mean that the first training is more important than the 5th training. All of these 5 trainings are to protect life, to prevent harm, for us to cultivate our compassion and our peace. Everywhere we go, even in a workplace, we have code of conduct, right? That can be equivalent to the 5 mindfulness trainings. The driving manual book, that is the 5 mindfulness trainings if you look deeply into it. Or as healthcare professionals, you have your own 5 mindfulness train books. As teachers too, or as parents. Can you imagine what life is like? If everywhere we go, we have the quote-unquote freedom to do whatever we want. Freedom, quote-unquote. Is that true freedom? How do you define true freedom? As a spiritual practice community, how do we define freedom? Is freedom to do whatever we want, regardless of other people's feelings? Is that true freedom? We can kill anyone we like? Is that true freedom? If our freedom ends up hurting others, harming others, that is not freedom. That is not heaven. That is hell. The freedom that we choose in the spirit of the practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings gives us the opportunity to bring lightness into our hearts, peace into our soul, compassion into our speech, healing into the people that we touch, that we interact. Violence is pervasive. Greed is everywhere. Sex is all over the place. Clinging for power can be seen in so many places. Covering up loneliness is a pandemic. And if we choose to go in that role of freedom, we know what the future is like. And it's not only our future, but it's the future of the future generation. Perhaps some of us already walk on that path. And we know how tiring it was to walk on that path. That's why we made the aspiration to renew our life, to begin anew our life by taking the 5 mindfulness trainings. So we can see the practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings as a way to renew our life, to be born again as a human. Continue to be a child of God, to be a child of Allah. As we continue, as we practice the 5 mindfulness trainings, it doesn't mean that we are no longer the child of God or Allah or spiritual teachers that we believe, that we take refuge in. To receive the 5 mindfulness trainings, to practice the 5 mindfulness trainings, is for us to go deeper into our roots, whether that is spiritual, blood, or land ancestors. Like the Dalai Lama say, we don't need any more Buddhists. We have enough Buddhists already. We need more compassionate and kind people. And practicing and receiving the 5 mindfulness trainings is our aspiration, is our determination to be more compassionate toward ourselves and to other people. Compassion here, we start with compassionate thinking, and then speech, and then action all in one. It's like a combo. Again, Buddhism is a way of life. It is not a religion. So when you share to people, I received the 5 mindfulness trainings, and now I am a Buddhist, it's another way of saying, I want to live a more ethical life, a more meaningful life, and I want to be more compassionate. I am compassion. I am a Buddhist is equivalent to I am compassion. Compassion can be a verb and it can be a noun. I am a Buddhist doesn't mean anything if we don't respect others and we don't respect ourselves. If we lie to get what we want, in the workplace, we will do whatever it takes for us to get the promotion that we need, that we want. Then when we say I am a Buddhist, it doesn't mean a thing. I am a Buddhist means I support my co-workers. I help those who are less fortunate than me. I care for those in the marginalized groups. I want to help those who are suffering greatly. Then when you say I am a Buddhist, it is equivalent to I am compassion, I am peace. And receiving the 5 mindfulness trainings is a reminder for us to practice that in our daily life. So next time, if you share with others, I am a Buddhist, please remember that. Or if you are a Christian, a Baptist, a Jewish, a Muslim, a Hindu. Because the 5 mindfulness trainings is universal. Regardless of your religious beliefs, of your ethnicities, of your gender identity, sexual orientation, of your skin color, we all can practice the 5 mindfulness trainings because each one of us, we know that it is the peace, the path of love, compassion, and peace that can lead to healing. That can lead to non-violence and non-fear. So next time, when you say, I'm a Buddhist, I'm Jewish, please make sure that is equivalent to us. I am compassion, I am peace, I am non-violence. And the 5 mindfulness trainings are not dogmas. They are the North Stars, the guiding means to help us to walk on the path of transformation and healing. The first noble truth is the awareness of suffering. But there are 4 noble truths, not just one. But we know that through the awareness of suffering, we learn to treat our body differently, our mind differently, and we treat others differently. Because in each one of us, we have the compassion. The Buddha saw so much suffering in society, and he created 84,000 Dharma doors to help us transform our suffering. So the 5 mindfulness trainings is one of them. And for those of us who have received the 5 mindfulness trainings, choose one practice in there to practice weekly. I am determined not to spread news that I do not know to be certain. When we know that news is not correct, please don't share it with a click, because we know fake news spread very fast. See, the Buddha knew back then the harm of fake news. The Buddha knew what our mind can be like if we spend so much time on social media. You see how relevant these trainings are? And he knew clearly the harm, the danger we can cause if we have discrimination to other people because of their gender, sexual orientation, or skin color. When we go deep into these trainings, we will break it down and we will talk about topics that perhaps we consider as difficult. But why are they difficult? It is because we don't talk about it enough. If we talk about it enough, it is no longer difficult. The first mindfulness training is not only about being a vegetarian or being a vegan. It is not only about killing mosquitoes. There are more to that. And we hope to explore into aspects that perhaps we haven't yet explored. Is to protect life. When we see someone who is falling into despair, we go sit next to that person, hold their hands, let them know you are there. That is the practice of reverence for life. When we walk and we see somebody on the street, because of the skin color looks different than us, we still see this person has Buddha nature. There's a Buddha in that person. That is reverence for life. That is nourishment and healing. That is true love. That is true happiness. And that is deep listening. When we still have faith in humanity as a whole. When we know that every child in this world deserves to live their life and not to be forever 13 or forever 5 or forever 20. That is reverence for life. What can we do to practice the 5 mindfulness training, to be able to implement them into our daily life? Can bring so much reward. Happy hormones will be secreted when we practice the 5 mindfulness trainings. Secrete more than the heart emojis that we receive on our social media pages or when we send text messages. And these happy hormones that are secreting, they last for a long time and very healthy for our physical and mental health. Again, they are not something for us to put on an altar or sacred place for us to devote, but they are something for us to bring into our daily life and practice. Practice, practice, and practice. So next time when you say you are a Buddhist, make sure it is equivalent to as I am compassion, I am peace, I am non-violence. Thank you, everyone, for your listening. I hope I leave a cliffhanger that will make you feel inspired to come back next week. Please continue to research more. Sister Nghiêm, how does it make you feel when you see friends kneeling, friends sitting in the presence of the whole community to receive the 5 mindfulness trainings? It happens so often at our monastery. Do you get used to it over time? Please.
Can you hear the big bell inviting? Now please enjoy the sound of the big bell. Sư tử ra hả? I'm sorry, I had to leave now because the venerable nuns coming and we need to be gathered to welcome them.
Thank you so much, Sister Nghiêm. We will listen to your sharing next time. Yes.